On January 7, 2025, Canadians woke up to unexpected news. The early morning air was filled with a sense of disbelief and curiosity as people turned on their televisions and picked up their newspapers. The headlines were dominated by a single shocking announcement. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation. The news came as a bolt from the blue, leaving many Canadians and political analysts scrambling to understand the reasons behind this sudden decision. Trudeau, who had been a central figure in Canadian politics for over a decade, stood at the podium with a solemn expression, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. After a decade at the helm, Trudeau was stepping down. His tenure had been marked by significant achievements and considerable challenges. From navigating the country through economic uncertainties to addressing social issues and climate change, Trudeau's leadership had left an indelible mark on the nation. His decision to resign was not just a personal choice but a pivotal moment in Canadian history. His departure marked the end of an era. Trudeau had been a charismatic leader, often seen engaging with the public, attending events, and rallying support for his policies. His ability to connect with people from all walks of life had earned him a loyal following. The news of his resignation was met with a mix of sadness, respect, and uncertainty about what lay ahead. It also signaled a period of uncertainty for Canadian politics. Trudeau's decision surprised many, including his closest allies and political opponents. The corridors of power buzzed with speculation about the future leadership of the Liberal Party and the direction the country would take. Political analysts began to dissect the implications of this unexpected turn of events. He had just led the Liberal Party to victory in the 2021 election. The triumph had been seen as a reaffirmation of his leadership and vision for Canada. The party had celebrated with great enthusiasm, believing that Trudeau would continue to guide them through the next phase of their political journey. His resignation, therefore, came as a profound shock. However, his resignation statement hinted at internal pressures. Trudeau spoke candidly about the immense responsibilities and the relentless scrutiny that came with the job. He acknowledged the personal sacrifices he had made and the toll it had taken on his well-being. His words painted a picture of a leader who had given his all but had reached a point where stepping down was the best course of action. He spoke of the toll the job had taken. The constant demands, the high-stakes decisions, and the unending public scrutiny had weighed heavily on him. Trudeau's voice, though measured, conveyed the exhaustion and the emotional burden he had carried. It was a rare glimpse into the personal struggles of a public figure who had always maintained a composed exterior. He emphasized his desire to spend more time with his family. Trudeau's resignation was not just a political decision but a deeply personal one. He spoke of the moments he had missed with his children and the need to be present for his family. His words resonated with many Canadians who understood the importance of balancing professional responsibilities with personal life. The news reverberated throughout the country and beyond. International media picked up the story, and discussions about Trudeau's legacy and the future of Canadian politics dominated headlines. World leaders and political commentators weighed in, reflecting on Trudeau's contributions on the global stage and the impact of his departure. Trudeau, a prominent figure on the world stage, was leaving his post. His tenure had seen Canada take a more active role in international affairs, from climate change initiatives to trade agreements. Trudeau's departure left a significant void, not just in Canadian politics but in the global political landscape. His leadership had been a beacon of progressive values and diplomacy. His resignation left a void in Canadian leadership. The Liberal Party now faced the daunting task of finding a successor who could carry forward Trudeau's vision while addressing the evolving challenges of the nation. The political landscape was poised for a period of introspection and transformation. It also sparked a debate about the future direction of the country. Canadians from all walks of life began to engage in discussions about the kind of leadership they wanted and the policies that would shape their future. The resignation of Justin Trudeau was not just the end of a chapter, but the beginning of a new narrative for Canada. Justin Trudeau's political journey was deeply intertwined with his family legacy. From a young age, he was surrounded by the world of politics, thanks to his father, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who was a significant figure in Canadian history. The Trudeau family name carried a weight of expectations and a legacy of public service. He was the eldest son of Pierre Elliott Trudeau, a man who left an indelible mark on the nation. Growing up in the public eye, Justin was often seen accompanying his father to various events, absorbing the nuances of political life. Pierre Trudeau was a towering figure in Canadian history, known for his charismatic leadership and progressive policies. His tenure as Prime Minister was marked by significant social and political changes, which shaped the modern Canadian identity. He served as Prime Minister for 15 years, a period during which he implemented policies that promoted bilingualism, multiculturalism, and a strong federal government. His vision for Canada was one of unity and inclusivity. Despite the political environment he grew up in, Justin initially pursued a career outside of politics. He sought to carve out his own path, distinct from his father's legacy. He found his calling in education, where he worked as a teacher, inspiring young minds, and fostering a love for learning. He worked as a teacher and public speaker, engaging with communities and advocating for various social causes. His experiences in education and public speaking honed his skills in communication and leadership, which would later prove invaluable in his political career. However, the pull of public service eventually led him to follow in his father's footsteps. The desire to make a difference on a larger scale and the call to serve his country became too strong to ignore. In 2008, he was elected as a Member of Parliament for the riding of Papineau. This marked the beginning of his formal political career, where he quickly made a name for himself as a passionate and dedicated representative. His charisma and name recognition quickly propelled him to prominence within the Liberal Party. He was known for his ability to connect with people from all walks of life, and his speeches often resonated deeply with his audience. He became leader of the Liberal Party in 2013, a role that came with immense responsibility and expectations. Under his leadership, the party underwent significant changes, embracing a more progressive and inclusive platform. His youthful energy and progressive vision resonated with Canadians, particularly the younger generation. He championed issues such as climate change, gender equality, and Indigenous rights, which garnered widespread support. In 2015, he led the Liberals to a decisive victory, securing a majority government. This victory was seen as a mandate for change and a new direction for the country. He became Canada's 23rd Prime Minister, taking on the mantle of leadership with a vision to build a more inclusive and progressive Canada. His journey from a teacher to the highest office in the land is a testament to his dedication and commitment to public service. Justin Trudeau's tenure as Prime Minister was marked by significant policy achievements. His leadership saw a blend of progressive values and pragmatic governance, which left a lasting impact on Canada. He championed progressive values and social justice, advocating for equality and inclusivity. Trudeau's government was known for its commitment to diversity, ensuring that all Canadians, regardless of their background, felt represented and heard. One of his landmark achievements was the legalization of cannabis across Canada. This move not only aimed to regulate and control the substance, but also to address the social injustices related to its prohibition. The legalization process involved extensive consultations and was seen as a progressive step towards modernizing Canada's drug policies. In his efforts to combat climate change, Trudeau implemented a national carbon tax. This policy was designed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and encourage sustainable practices. The carbon tax was part of a broader environmental strategy that included investments in renewable energy and conservation initiatives. On the international stage, Trudeau prioritized diplomacy and multilateralism. He believed in the importance of working with other nations to address global challenges. His approach to foreign policy was characterized by a commitment to international cooperation and a strong presence in global forums. Trudeau strengthened Canada's relationships with its allies, fostering partnerships that were crucial for trade, security, and global stability. His diplomatic efforts were aimed at ensuring that Canada remained a key player on the world stage. He played an active role in global forums like the G7 and the United Nations, where he advocated for issues such as climate change, human rights, and economic development. His participation in these forums underscored Canada's commitment to global leadership and collaboration. Domestically, Trudeau's government introduced significant social programs aimed at improving the quality of life for Canadians. These initiatives were designed to provide support to those in need and to create a more equitable society. One of the most notable programs was the expanded Canada Child Benefit. This initiative provided financial support to families with children, helping to reduce child poverty and ensure that all children had the resources they needed to thrive. In addition to the Canada Child Benefit, Trudeau's government made significant investments in affordable housing and childcare. These investments were aimed at making life more affordable for Canadians and ensuring that everyone had access to essential services. These policies were part of a broader strategy to reduce poverty and support working families. By providing financial assistance and investing in social infrastructure, Trudeau's government aimed to create a more inclusive and supportive society. Another significant aspect of Trudeau's legacy was his commitment to reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. His government took steps to address the historical injustices faced by Indigenous communities and to build a more respectful and collaborative relationship. One of the key initiatives in this area was the launch of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. This inquiry aimed to uncover the systemic issues that led to violence against Indigenous women and to recommend actions to address these issues. Trudeau's government also worked towards implementing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action. These actions were designed to address the legacy of residential schools and to promote healing and reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians. Through these efforts, Trudeau aimed to create a more just and equitable society for all Canadians. Despite his numerous successes, Justin Trudeau's time in office was not without its challenges. He faced several controversies. These tested his leadership and significantly impacted his popularity. One significant controversy involved the SNC-Lavalin affair. This scandal involved allegations of political interference in a criminal prosecution. The affair damaged Trudeau's reputation and led to the resignation of 2 cabinet ministers. Trudeau also faced criticism for his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. While his government implemented early measures to contain the virus, the pandemic exposed existing inequalities in Canadian society. Furthermore, Trudeau's personal conduct came under scrutiny on several occasions. Photos and videos of him wearing blackface and brownface earlier in his life surfaced. These incidents sparked outrage and accusations of hypocrisy.